Democratic Senator John Fetterman went after famed political strategist James Carville for predicting Joe Biden could lose in 2024. The only thing Democrats love more than censorship is untraceable gold bars. Said Fetterman, quote, "I'll use this as another opportunity to tell James Carville to shut the, quote, up. Like I said, my man hasn't been relevant since grunge was a thing, and I don't know why he believes it's helpful to say these kind of things about an incredibly difficult circumstance with an incredibly strong and decent, excellent president." Man, he rehabbed well, didn't he? Longest quote ever. An incredibly strong and decent president. His eyes have not caught up yet. Okay. Somebody get Fetterman back on the concussion protocol. He's had a relapse. And let's be honest, should he really be talking about grunge? He looks like he hasn't bathed since Kurt Cobain was still alive. Sorry, Kennedy.
Oh, well,
Kennedy,
whatever. Never mind.
Yeah. Kennedy, this new Fetterman, whether you like him or don't like him, at least he's talking. He's got old popcorn beat on that one. He's just speaking his mind.
He won't stop talking.
Filter be damned.
Yeah, I was a little worried about him. I know he was using an AI program to help him translate in the Senate. I think that he had a brain chip inserted when he was off in his rehabilitative process, and now he worships the president. Like, there are a lot of adjectives you can use about Joe Biden. Excellent? Strong? Not two of them.
No, and the president can't say those words either.
Absolutely right. Ding dong.
Aaron, what do you make of this trash talking?
Well, again, I mean, trash talking is something that we're definitely familiar with. And with Fetterman, a few weeks ago, he appeared to kind of change his mind, and the new one appeared to be working a little better.
Yeah.
But now we have just disintegrated into what he is now. And in my issue with this, it's the language, right? I mean, aside from the fact that Fetterman, I mean, his dress code is completely non-existent. I mean, he wears the hoodies,
Like he just got broke up with.
Yeah, he looks like the love child of Dr. Phil and Paul Bunyan with the little knit cap on and everything. But the language, my man, like, is he trying to connect with what he thinks the American public is and be cool? Or I'm not getting it.
Or maybe he thinks James Carville is a brother. I mean, he could be. He's light-skinned. It's possible. He's from Louisiana. Everyone looks like me in Louisiana. Seriously. Check it out. What do you make of all this?
They sort of occupy the same psychic territory, right? They're bald-headed liberal kooks, and so they're going to have a rivalry. The old line about Carville looking like a talking garlic knot,
Yeah.
I think is actually, accurate here. And so I don't know what that makes Fetterman, but the difference here, sincerely, is that
Okay.
Carville, he can say what he wants, but listen, Carville doesn't need an AI program to talk. God bless him. Fetterman had a stroke on the campaign trail. Everybody knows who's ever dealt with that, and many of us have, have had relatives, et cetera. You need immediate treatment, and it has to be ongoing. Otherwise, you don't entirely come back. Instead, they pushed him out onto the campaign trail, and they kept him out there. And that's why the poor guy needs a computer to still talk. Carville is smart. Say what you want. I'm not on his team. But he's a smart guy, and he's won a lot of stuff. The Democrats, it would behoove them to listen to Carville and not Fetterman. But in that interview, they asked him, what about you for president in 2028? And after the satellite delay, and he's playing with the computer and everything else, he said something like never say never. So strap in. He thinks he can be president.
Well, Gavin Newsom will not like that.
Actually, he hit Newsom in the interview because he sees him as a rival.
There you go.
Are you concerned at all about the Fetterman train coming in 2028?
Well, John Fetterman owes Joe Biden because when he was on the campaign trail, Joe Biden went out and campaigned for him and used a lot of his infrastructure to get him over the finish line and into public office. So that, he's going to defend Joe Biden. For him to say that Biden is strong, okay, he's using the short stack of stairs to get into Air Force One, everybody. Like, everyone can watch that.
Those are usually for Gutfeld.
Usually, yes, but not tonight. And the other thing is he calls him a decent, excellent person. This is a man who denied his granddaughter for 4 years that she even existed. That is not a decent person when you're denying that fact, and it's covered up for his degenerate son who has asked him to hide that fact in their family. And the politics of it is that he is the most unpopular president in modern times. At this point in Trump's presidency, he was at 45%. Biden's at 39%. Barack Obama was at 43%. Again, Biden's at 39%. And he's never out there. Like, he's away. He's at the beach again for this week. He doesn't talk to the press. He, relies on his staff to make his message for him, and that's not resonating with the American people.
No, it's
so
not.
he is in big political trouble. And I know everyone says, well, he's going to stay on the ballot, but there is the convention. And Gavin Newsom is an option for them in August.
One of the points you made, if someone's decent and excellent, you don't have to say both.
That's true.
He's excellent or he's decent. But even decent's like C student.
Decent is like Mike
you're
Pence.
a decent guy. Like, you won't rob a bank, but you won't tell me if I drop my wallet either. Like, decent.
Fair.
All right. Before we go, that was decent. All right. Reminder to come check out my stand-up comedy shows, aka live events. I'll be in California, Connecticut, and Massachusetts. We're adding more dates as we go. Go to Linktree on my Instagram and Twitter for ticket info. Coming up, the panel says what's good from their hoods.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.